What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another FPL video on the channel. And in today's one we are looking at my game week 12 team selection. But with that being said, let's start off with a quick review of how we performed in game week 11. As you guys can see, we managed to get 60 points in game week 11, which meant I got a green arrow up to 800k, and things are looking pretty decent at the moment. It's back-to-back green arrows, and I do hope that continues. Unfortunately, we did have a lot of points on the bench. I benched Fabianski's 9-pointer and I benched Mikolenko's 6-pointer, so a total of 15 points on the bench. Yeah, that hurt a lot. But with that being said, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about game week 11, as only a couple videos ago we did talk about it quite a lot. So yeah, that is a quick update. 800k, 60 points. Let's have a look at my game week 12 transfer plans. Alright guys, so as you can see, my initial game week 12 transfer plans hasn't really changed too much. Right, the plan was always to use my 2 free transfers to take out Phil Foden, take out Dominic Solanke, and bring in Cole Palmer and Danny Welbeck. And at this moment in time, I still am going to be using my 2 free transfers on those 2 players. I think you guys know my thoughts and feelings on Cole Palmer especially, man. I think he's an absolute must-have player with the amazing fixtures that he has. As you guys can see here, Leicester, Villa, Southampton, Spurs, Brentford, Everton, Fulham, Ipswich. I mean, look, I could go on and on and on, but the long-term fixtures for Palmer and Chelsea are just absolutely fantastic, and I want Cole Palmer for this run. I've talked about Cole Palmer quite a lot in my most recent video and even in my transfer plans video as well. So yeah, if you are watching the channel, you guys know, man, I just think Cole Palmer, in my opinion, is the #1 player to own right now in FPL. So if I believe that, of course, I'm going to want to transfer Cole Palmer in my team. So yeah, I think Cole Palmer, definitely going to be bringing him in. That transfer hasn't been done yet. I am going to be waiting until the press conferences do come out on Friday. So that's when I'll most likely be making those moves. And look, with Danny Welbeck, man, I love the fixtures that Brighton have once again. I think, look, I could go for João Pedro, and again, I did explain this, but I could go for João Pedro. However, because he's just come back from injury, I don't know if he's going to start straight away. I feel like he could, maybe for the next game or two, he could see appearances off the bench, right? I don't know if he'll be a starter. So with that being said, I feel like it's just safer to go with Danny Welbeck, because I want Danny Welbeck, you know, starting. I want my Brighton attacker starting against Bournemouth, starting against Southampton, starting against Fulham, and I think Danny Welbeck just does exactly that. Also, he is the Brighton captain as well. He gets good minutes. So yeah, I just really like Danny Welbeck as an option. I think so far this season he has proved his worth. He's proved his value. So for that reason, yeah, you guys know, man, I really want Danny Welbeck, and I still will be bringing him in my team. But just like with Cole Palmer, the transfer hasn't been made yet. I actually missed the price rise on Danny Welbeck, but I just thought I'd just wait again till the press conferences get released, just in case of any injury updates and news. So look, with that being said, my initial plans with Cole Palmer and Danny Welbeck still hasn't changed. Those 2 players will be coming in. However, I did speak about in my transfer plans video a possible -8 hit. Now, I did want to talk to you guys about that, because I don't know if I'm going to be doing the -8 this week. I did explain to you guys in the transfer plans video that it was sort of, I had 2 options, right? I'd take the -8 this week, bring in Isak and Gabriel for Haaland and Rico Lewis, or I take the -8 in game week 13 when Haaland's playing against Liverpool and Lewis is playing against Liverpool, and then I bring in Isak against Crystal Palace and Gabriel against, I think, West Ham away from home. Now, I feel like I prefer the -8 in game week 18 instead of game week 12. So with that being said, I feel like just for 1 more week, guys, I will be keeping Erling Haaland. Look, I do want to get rid of Erling Haaland, right? He's been frustrating, and I don't think he's worth the money. And the same goes for Rico Lewis, right? Both Man City assets have been very irritating for me. They've caused me a lot of pain and a lot of suffering. But with that being said, try to put my emotional, you know, viewpoint on Erling Haaland aside, right? And just trying to think logically. I don't believe taking a -8 this specific week makes sense. I'd rather do it next week instead, especially because Spurs could possibly have some injuries. Van de Ven might not be back from his injury, and Romero, I actually do think Romero came off injured in one of the games for Argentina. So again, I just want to wait till the press conferences to see what the injury news is on Van de Ven and Romero. But look, either way, Romero's not been playing well. Van de Ven could miss the game, so it could be Dragusin at centre back, who's not very good, and it could even be Ben Davies if Romero is out as well. So if Erling Haaland is playing against, you know, Dragusin and Davies at centre back, I just feel like Erling Haaland could have a field day and score a lot of goals in that game against Spurs. So yeah, and even if Van de Ven is fit, even if Romero is fit, and Van de Ven is injured, I still feel like that Spurs defense is just so weakened with that injury. So yeah, man, the Spurs defense isn't great. Man City are at home. Possible injuries as well for Spurs. Bentancur's got a 7-match ban as well. So yeah, man, I just feel like Erling Haaland could just do some damage in that game. So with that being said, I do feel like I'll keep him just for one more week. And look, with Rico Lewis, I wish I could take him out for a hit, right? But I can't take out Rico Lewis for Gabriel if I don't sell Erling Haaland. So unfortunately, that does mean I have to keep Rico Lewis. I'm not expecting much from him against Spurs because Man City defense is terrible. But Erling Haaland, I do think he can do the job very well against Spurs. So with that being said, guys, that is enough waffling on my transfer plans update. I don't think I'll be doing a -8 this game week. I think I'm going to postpone it and do it next week instead. So with that being said, let's have a look at my Game Week 12 team selection. Alright guys, so let's have a look at my Game Week 12 team selection, and we'll start things off in the defense. And in goal, we've got David Raya, and then a back three of Konate, Aït-Nouri, and Rico Lewis. On the bench, I do have Mykolenko as well, playing against Brentford at home, but I am going to be starting Rico Lewis this week, I think. Now, I want to start off talking about David Raya, because I'm not going to lie, bro. Enough is enough, and I'm going to say it right here, right now. David Raya, you must. David Raya, you must deliver now. It's as simple as that. This guy has been stinking up the place week in, week out. I've sort of given him a blive, given him a pass. I've not really criticised him, but seriously now, enough is enough. The fixture run coming up for Arsenal is absolutely fantastic, and starting off with Nottingham Forest at home, you have to deliver. That's it from me, because look, I've paid the big money for you. For a goalkeeper, 5.5 million is a lot of money, right? And that's how much I've paid for you, Mr. David Raya. So it's about time you actually prove your worth and start delivering me the FPL points. Because I'm not going to lie, this man has been stinking up the place for a while now. The last time he got a clean sheet was in Game Week 4 against Spurs away, and we are now approaching Game Week 12, and this guy still hasn't got a clean sheet since that game week in Game Week 4, right? So look, now is the time. Arsenal have players back, right? Odegaard is back, Calafiori is back. They've got the key men, right, to be able to perform to a high standard like we saw Arsenal perform to last season. So there is no excuses now. Yes, I know Ben White is injured, but overall they've still got the majority and the core of their team to perform to a high standard. So now Arteta and Arsenal do not have an excuse. So I'm expecting some clean sheets in the upcoming games, and starting off with Nottingham Forest at home. For me, Arsenal need to get a clean sheet, man. They have to. And if they don't, serious questions need to be asked on David Raya, and I will generally have to consider moving him on. If I see a performance as well from Arsenal that doesn't bring me confidence in Arsenal getting a clean sheet for future game weeks. Because look, if Arsenal perform to a good standard, they really do nullify Nottingham Forest on the transition. They really do stop Nottingham Forest from creating a lot of chances, but they concede an unlucky goal. If that happens, then fair enough. Maybe I'll give David Raya, an extra game week or two. But if the performance is generally bad, and on transition, players like Elanga and Hudson-Odoi are causing problems, creating chances after chance after chance, and I see a weak performance from Arsenal, then I will generally have to consider moving David Raya on. But look, with that being said, I really do hope David Raya can finally get a clean sheet, bro, because it has been a while. It really has been a while. But look, we also do have Konate playing away to Southampton. I do expect him to start, and I am expecting a clean sheet. So yeah, hopefully Konate can get the job done. Yeah, that's all I really have to say on Liverpool, man. Liverpool defense, we know, have been absolutely fantastic this season. They've been the best defensive team, right, in the Premier League this season. So look, for me, Konate, I'm expecting a clean sheet here, away to Southampton. Hopefully he can get the job done. We also do have Aït-Nouri and Rico Lewis. Now, I'm going to be honest, guys. Aït-Nouri, I'm not expecting anything from this man. Wolves' defense is absolutely shocking, and the only reason I've got this man in my team is for the attacking returns. So I really do expect Aït-Nouri to concede. I'm not going to lie, right, because Fulham have been a very good performing team so far this season, and Wolves defensively have been stinking up the place week in, week out. So with that being said, I'm not really expecting a clean sheet. However, I'm hoping for some attacking returns this week for Aït-Nouri, and that's why he's in the side, right? Because every time I watch Aït-Nouri, I see how attacking he is. Like I say, like I've said in some of my recent videos, right? He essentially plays like a winger. He puts himself in positions like he's a number 10, right? He's always in and around the penalty area as well. He's putting himself in the best possible positions to get you attacking returns like goals and assists, and that's why I do like Aït-Nouri, right? So I'm hoping he can give me some attacking returns against Fulham away from home. And then we do have Rico Lewis, and I'm not gonna lie, man, I'm not expecting anything from Rico Lewis. I've even got my doubts on whether he actually starts as well, depending on the sort of injury updates that Pep Guardiola gives us on the other Man City defenders like Ake, Akanji and so on. Yeah, Rico Lewis might not actually even play. But look, if Rico Lewis does play, I'm not confident at all. I think, look, Spurs will definitely score, right? I'll be very, very surprised if Spurs don't score, because with the way Man City have been playing this season and their sort of Man City's play style, generally speaking, Spurs can really do well and really hurt that Man City defense, right? They can, like, players like Son, Brennan Johnson on the transition, right? Because we know Man City are going to dominate the ball at home to Spurs, right? That's not in question. We know Man City are going to dominate the ball. But where Spurs can hurt Man City is on the transition, right? Just a quick, as soon as they win the ball, bang, the two wide players, Brennan Johnson and Son, are going to be gone. And if Kulusevski's playing in that turn, he can pick a pass. He can pick a pass out. And we've seen Spurs as well, like last season, do really, really well against Man City, even in the Carabao Cup this season, right? They got the 2-1 win against Man City as well, albeit, yes, a lot of players were arrested for Man City in that game. But look, we've seen over the years, Spurs are almost like a bogey team for Manchester City. And look, like I said, with the way that Man City play, with the way that Spurs play, I wouldn't be surprised if Spurs do score a couple goals in that game. So yeah, I'm not really expecting much from Rico Lewis. But look, if he gets a clean sheet, I'll consider myself very, very lucky, because I'm certainly not expecting one. But with that being said, that is the defense so far. Let's move on to the midfield. So in midfield, we do have Mohamed Salah, Cole Palmer, Bryan Mbeumo and Emile Smith-Rowe. Now I want to start off talking to you guys about Salah and Cole Palmer, because as you guys can see, I've got the captain's armband on Cole Palmer. For me, I really do prefer Cole Palmer over Mo Salah for captain this week. I know that might sound crazy to say, right? We know that Salah's been absolutely incredible for FPL in the last few game weeks, man. He's the man of the season. He's the man in form right now, right? Mohamed Salah, he's been absolutely ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I cannot deny that, right? But I do think this week for Cole Palmer, Leicester away from home is the week where Cole Palmer just absolutely explodes. I generally have a gut feeling that he will explode. Now, I'm not going to lie. The only doubt I've got about Cole Palmer and putting him on captain this week is the fact that he's playing at 12:30 kickoff. That's it. That's literally the only doubt I've got. Because you guys know that famous quote, right, from Mahatma Gandhi. Never back the early kickoff. Never back the early kickoff, right? I believe that's a genuine thing. I'm not gonna lie, every time I captain someone for the 12:30 early kickoff, it never goes well. But with that being said, I don't give a toss. I don't give a damn, right? I'm going to captain Cole Palmer this week because, number one, I feel like everyone is going to be captain of Mohamed Salah this week. Everyone that owns Mohamed Salah will be using the captain's armband on Salah. So with that being said, I do think going against the grain with a player like Cole Palmer is not a bad idea at all. We've seen how poor Leicester have been this season, and in my opinion, they definitely are the team to target. I actually think they're slightly worse than Southampton, if I'm being honest, defensively. Like, I do feel more confident when my attacker is playing against Leicester based off what I've seen so far this season. So for me, I generally wouldn't be surprised if Cole Palmer outscores Mohamed Salah this week. I just think Cole Palmer this week is going to explode, right? That is my honest opinion, and that is why I do believe I will be using the captain's armband captain's armband on Palmer ahead of Mohamed Salah. So yeah, you guys let me know in the comments, right? What do you think of that? What do you think of that? Should I be going for Mohamed Salah? Am I being delusional? Am I being stupid? Let me know down below in the comments. But for me, I really do prefer Cole Palmer this week over Mohamed Salah. Look, it could backfire massively, but what is life without a bit of risk, right? So yeah, I'm going for Cole Palmer. We've also got Bryan Mbeumo playing against Everton away from home. I think that's a really, really good fixture on paper. I think, look, recently in the last like 2 games or so, Everton defense has slightly improved, I must say. Albeit they have played against Southampton and West Ham, but still I would say their defensive performances have improved slightly. So It could be a slightly tougher game for Mbeumo because it is away from home. But on the flip side, I will say this. Brentford so far this season have been one of the best attacking teams, right, this season. And they've been involved in a lot of high goal scoring games. So I'm expecting goals for Everton, but I'm also expecting goals for Brentford. I would certainly say that. So yeah, I am hoping Bryan Mbeumo can deliver. I will say he's probably got about 2 more game weeks left in my team before I take him out. So yeah, hopefully Bryan Mbeumo can end off things with an absolute bang. And then we've got Emil Smith-Rowe, man. Really happy that I've got him. I think the upcoming fixtures are really, really good. And look, this game against Wolves at home, in my opinion, is good. Like, in fact, it's not good, it's great. You guys saw you guys heard what I said about Aït-Nouri and that Wolves defense. So if I think Aït-Nouri and the Wolves defense is really, really bad, then it must mean that I think Smith-Rowe is a really, really good pick this week, and I really do think he is, right? I think Smith-Rowe can deliver in a fixture like this because I think the Wolves' defence is absolutely terrible, and there will be goals in that game for Fulham. No doubt about it. There will be goals in that game for Fulham. I'll be very surprised if Fulham don't score 2-3 goals. I'm expecting quite a high scoring game, though. I will say that I'm predicting like a 3-2 to Fulham or a 3-1 to Fulham, but there will be goals in that game. So yeah, I'm hoping Smith-Rowe can be in and amongst the goals because he has been performing pretty well since I put him in my team. So yeah, hopefully Smith-Rowe can keep that up. But with that being said, that is the midfield, guys. Let's move on to the front three. And we do have Strand Larsen, Erling Haaland and Danny Welbeck. We'll start off talking about Danny Welbeck. Of course, I've not transferred him in yet, but by the time the deadline does come around, I will definitely have him in my team. Yeah, we got Danny Welbeck away to Bournemouth. For me, look, I just think it's a good fixture for Brighton. I think, look, Bournemouth has shown that they are a really, really good team, right, this season. I do think Bournemouth are a good team. They have shown that. So it will be a little bit tricky for Brighton. But overall, I think Brighton's attack is so good. I do expect Brighton to concede. I don't expect Bournemouth to score. But we're solely focused on what Danny Welbeck can produce. We're solely focused on Brighton's attacking threat, and look, going forward, Brighton are really, really good. So I'm pretty confident in Danny Welbeck getting on the score sheet this week. I love the Brighton attack. I think they're so good, and I expect Danny Welbeck to be getting a lot of chances in that game. So look, with that being said, I think Danny Welbeck can do the job. And then we've also got Erling Haaland at home to Spurs. Now, look, you guys heard what I said earlier on in this video about what I think Erling Haaland can do in this game. Look, I do think he can score 1 or 2 goals, especially if Tottenham do have some injuries and some players missing. Because, look, Man City are the home team. Kevin De Bruyne is back as well. That is another key factor for Erling Haaland. I think Kevin De Bruyne being back is definitely going to help. So, yeah, man, I do expect Erling Haaland to at least get 1 goal. I'm not going to be putting the captain's armband on him. So, yeah, I'm just hoping Erling Haaland can get some FPL returns, really. But as I said, when we talk about sort of Man City Spurs and the matchup, I feel like it favours both attackers for both teams. Like, the attackers for Spurs can score goals, but also the attackers for Man City can score goals. Because I think both defences are weak, and I wouldn't be surprised if, again, it's a high-scoring game, a 2-2, a 3-2, a 3-3. I'm predicting that sort of kind of game because both defences are just really, really weak. So, look, if it's a high goal-scoring game, I'd assume that Erling Haaland will be in and around the goals. So, yeah, let's see what happens. And then we've also got Strand Larsen against Fulham away from home. I think the Fulham defence is decent, but I feel like a lot of the time they do sort of find a way to concede the odd goal. Like, a lot of the times this season, they have conceded, even though they might have put up a good defensive performance, somehow, some way, sometimes they do sort of concede the odd goal here and there. So look, I'm sort of expecting Wolves to definitely score because I think going forward they've got the players to hurt Fulham, like Cunha, like Strand Larsen, like Aït-Nouri, João Gomez in midfield, really, really good so far this season, in my opinion. I do feel like Wolves have the attacking threat, right? So I'm hoping that Strand Larsen can get some FPL returns in this game against Fulham. It's going to be an interesting matchup for sure. But look, I'm pretty confident in Strand Larsen doing the business. So with that being said, that is how the team is shaping up for Game Week 12, guys. Feeling pretty confident. Yeah, man, feeling pretty confident. I feel like this team can do well. I actually do feel like the team can do well this week. But yeah, let's see what happens. We've, of course, got the freemium structure of Haaland, Palmer and Salah. So let's see how well that trio does this week. But yeah, on the bench, we've got Fabianski away to Newcastle, Mykolenko against Brentford at home, and then Dibbling and Greaves. There is a chance I may start Mykolenko ahead of someone like Rico Lewis. It is a possibility, but I'm not sure. I'm like 50-50 on that. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But yeah, that is a team. That is how I am looking for Game Week 12. Let me know your thoughts on my team down below in the comments. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. Smash a like if you did. Subscribe to the channel. Turn on post notifications. Follow my Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. All that good stuff. But yeah, man, hope you guys did enjoy. And I'll catch you guys for the Game Week 12 deadline stream. But until then, I'm out. Peace.